Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. If you're an existing viewer, you're also welcome. Please remember to share, like and subscribe to my channel. Now this is a sad story of this beautiful 23-year-old lady called Itunu. She's a Nigerian who is based in Cote d'Ivoire. This incident started in September 2019 when Itunu traveled to Nigeria to visit her sick mom in Ibadan specifically. So after her visit to her sick mom, she returned to her base in Cote d'Ivoire, and that marked the beginning of a harrowing ordeal in a notorious Ivorian prison, which is still ongoing. What really happened? When she had to leave Cote d'Ivoire to go to Ibadan in Nigeria, she definitely locked her flat, and in her absence, flat was burgled, and items worth about 300,000 were stolen, including her TV and gas cooker. Anyway, as usual, when something like this happens, she has to try and investigate. So someone like a neighbor informed her that the thief was like a neighbor's son who lived nearby. The boy is a 14-year-old boy. So Itunu actually went to the father to challenge the father about what the son, the 14-year-old boy, had done. His embarrassed father, this is actually very embarrassing. He apologized and admitted that his son was a habitual thief and that the items he stole had already been sold. So Itunu still went ahead and reported this to the police, who told her to return some days after. And when she did, the DPO heard from her and offered her a settlement of about 100,000 so that she could drop the case. She refused the settlement, saying that the value of the stolen items, which is over 300,000, is not commensurate with the 100,000 naira that she was being the equivalent of 100,000 naira that she was being asked to take. So the DPO tried everything to frustrate her into dropping the case, including making her travel to Abidjan for a police appointment. When she now got to Abidjan, which is the capital, she hired a lawyer to attend the appointment with her. But still, the police were not cooperating. Then she returned home. I think she stays in a place in Cote d'Ivoire called Bondoku or something. Excuse my pronunciation. Anyway, after this incident, she went back home. When she went to meet the DPO, and a convoy of police vehicles showed up outside her house and publicly arrested her. This is quite surprising, for somebody who had an incident of armed robbery in her house. I've gone to make a complaint, now having the police come to publicly arrest her. Anyway, she got arrested and she was charged with theft. The theft of her own items in her own apartment. Can you believe this? She spent the next about 4 days in police custody, after which she was taken out of the cell and offered her freedom if she agreed to sign papers dropping her case. You can imagine, this is somebody whose house was bugged and items were carted away, and who reported now being the victim. This is it's quite surprising. Anyway, they started going back and forth, and Itunu rejected the offer and chose to still go ahead to court instead, because of the injustice done to her. Then she said she overheard an officer saying, Nigerian, Hell Mora ici, meaning she's a Nigerian, she will die here, that kind of thing, because they speak French in Cote d'Ivoire, is a French-speaking country. Then the decision to go to court turned out to be a monumental error of judgment, compounded by her own naivety about the Ivorian justice system. Now, all these things she's going through, it's just, she's trying to say, okay, let the law take its course. Now, when they got to court, the court did not allow her adequate legal representation, and she was just, thrown in there in the prison. Anyway, so this is actually Itunu's plight right now, and after being convicted and sentenced to 20 years imprisonment, Further complicating her was the decision she made. Now, one thing complicated her issue. She chose to give her name as Becky Paul in the courts. She said she did this in order to avoid getting her family name mixed up in bad news and potentially upsetting her old mom back in our country, Nigeria. You know how it is, when something happens, you want to protect your family name. You don't want your name to be, to be in the middle of such a scandal, or, in bad press. Anyway, so she is still Becky Paul. She's still serving 20 years in the prison in Côte d'Ivoire, and all attempt to get her to see a better representation for justice to be done has been proven abortive. So now she is a forgotten inmate at the notorious Maison d'Arrêt et de Correction Bonduku. That's the Bonduku Remand and Correction Facility. This is quite surprising. And when our Nigerian friends in Côte d'Ivoire approached the Nigerian embassy in Abidjan to provide, like a consular assistance for her and her case, the officials asked for 400,000 to get her a passport before anything can be done. And definitely at this stage, the young lady has exhausted all the money she had in the past year, and she has lost hope and has attempted suicide twice. Oh my God. I think it's just appropriate for us to, make an appeal for the sake of an innocent Nigerian woman who is stuck in a hostile foreign prison, after being set up by corrupt officials to cover up a crime allegedly committed by an Ivorian DPO's nephew. Yes, it was later found out that the young 40-year-old boy who is alleged to be the robber is a nephew of the DPO. Now we've known actually where all this steam is coming from. Now, her full name is Itunu Olajumoke Babalola. Yeah, that is this young lady's name. Not Becky Paul, like she represented in court. Her full name again is Itunu Olajumoke Babalola. So we just hope that she's going to find justice. And good enough, I think a few hours ago, the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that is Mrs. Abike Dabiri, came out to say they're investigating it and they will get back on their findings. And because they have a mission in Abidjan that will also help them out, So we are hoping that this case would have a good ending and she'll be able to be rescued, because it's just so surprising, the rate at which we just make things, so hard for each other. This is a 23-year-old lady who has gone to Côte d'Ivoire to make, ends meet for herself and her aged mother who is based in Ibadan. And she has gone through all this, even attempting suicide twice in prison. 20 years for something she did not do, for her house being burgled by an armed robber, alleged armed robber, because the child is actually a minor, a 14-year-old child. So we are praying on the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, headed by Mr. Bikedabri, to please look into this matter and please get justice for Itunu. I think as Africans, our leaders, everybody, we need to put our hands on deck to make better lives for ourselves. And even stop being mean to each other, because Côte d'Ivoire and Nigeria they share the same border. It's just few hours drives from Nigeria to Côte d'Ivoire. So I don't know where this kind of things is coming from, but it shows the injustice in our systems, in our African systems. So we'll keep an update on this story and let you know as solution is found for Itunu's dilemma. We wish she stays alive and not commit suicide, because every life actually matters. Thank you very much, everybody. Remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel.